Hey everyone, it's Hailey, and today, oh, it's finally here. I am doing my 2021 bookshelf tour. Okay, so this is gonna be a lot. I have been dreading filming this, but I had to do it, okay? I do it every year, usually in January, but the past 2 years it has been in March, but like, that's fine. I get to it eventually. So I feel like this was so much easier when I was at my parents' house because I had a lot of books like in storage. I still have some books there, but now that I have moved out, I have most of my books actually on display, so I don't just have 3 shelves to go through anymore. I have 6 shelves? No, 7? Yeah, 6. I can't count. 6 shelves to show you guys. So this is obviously behind me, my main shelves. I will have a timestamp if you just want to skip to the books, but I'll just go through like a few frequently asked questions and everything. So all of my bookshelves are the Billy IKEA bookshelves. I have the white ones in here. I really like them. Like, they're simple. They do the job. And then I have 2 downstairs that are the brown ones, and then I have just a cheap shelf that I got at Canadian Tire that I just needed something for. Also, I have books on top of these main shelves in my office here, which is where we are now, but they do sell extensions for IKEA, like the Billy bookshelves. I just haven't picked them up because I don't have an IKEA near me and the shipping is ridiculously expensive. So at some point I will probably get those. But in my office here, I almost called it my bedroom, I have my main shelves, which are rainbow organized. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but that is how I best find my books. I remember the color of the spine and like what the cover looks like before I actually remember the author or the title of a book. So that's just the way my brain works. I'm a very visual person. Yes, series are split up. No, it doesn't bug me at all. Like, I've had this for years and years and years, so I'm just used to finding the book with the color rather than where the series are. But I know that doesn't work for everyone. It's just what works for me, and it's my bookshelf, so that's how I'm going to have it. So up here I have the whole rainbow. On top of the bookshelves I have my white books, and then downstairs I have like brown, and I think it's just brown books now. It's just kind of some miscellaneous stuff. And then on the bottom I have black. I'm definitely like overflowing my bookshelves at this point. So where do I put new books is a frequently asked question that I get, and I have started double stacking on the bottom of my bookshelves in here, but I just kind of put them wherever I can find space, honestly. So downstairs on either side of the TV I have just some prettier books, like some of my collector's editions and stuff like that. Then the other bookshelf in my office is my Alice collection. So this entire bookshelf is just different editions of Alice in Wonderland because I collect them. So I will do a separate video on that. I'm not going to show you every edition in this video because this video would be ages long, so that is just for another video that I'll do soon if you would like to see that. But yeah, that is what that is. So I personally, for bookshelf tours, like to just pull out every single book on my shelf and show you guys them so then you can see my whole collection. I know that that can get kind of boring, but I don't know, I really enjoy it. I feel like there was something else that I wanted to say, but I can't think of what it was. Oh, which percentage of books have I read and which haven't I? So I would say it's probably like 70-30 for read versus unread. I don't know exactly, but I have read most of the books that I have. It might be 60-40, but I think it's kind of closer to 70-30. Maybe that's just me being optimistic, but I do like constantly have an influx of books coming in that I haven't read yet. I have been reading a lot, so it kind of like depends on how my pacing of reading is, but I think it probably stays in about that range. Another question is, why do I have so many books? One, I really like books. I like reading. I like having a variety of things to choose from. It's something that I enjoy collecting. I'm a reader and it makes me happy, and that's just how I choose to spend my money. And I also get sent books because it's my job to talk about books. Because I do booktube and I have my Instagram and everything, I get sent books by publishers, which is so lovely, and I'm super grateful for that. And that's also the reason why I'm able to afford books that like I order all the time, is because of doing this. So it is my job to be keeping up with reads, and that is why I have so many books. I know it's a lot, but I like to have a lot. So I think that's all I really wanted to cover. If you have any other questions, you can leave them down below. Okay, so there are a couple of things that I definitely forgot to mention here. So one thing is to search Goodreads or YouTube for the title of any of these books if you wanted to know more of my thoughts or to see if I've read it. And you can also watch my TBR pile video that I did to see if I have read the book or not. Most of them I have, and I have like started doing more reviews instead of ratings on Goodreads, so you can get more thoughts, but I do have like the titles and the descriptions for most videos, so you can just search on my YouTube and then you will find it. I hope that made sense. Let's just get into all of the books that I have. Okay, so the angle and everything for these like white books, because they're on top of my shelf, is going to be atrocious, and I'm sorry about that, but this is literally the best I could do. Like, I have my tripod at full height, I have a ladder here, like, I mean business, but it doesn't mean it's gonna be pretty. But I have been putting this off for months, so let's just get into it. After Alice by Gregory Maguire, Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore, 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston, Codename Verity and Rose Under Fire by Elizabeth Wein, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, P.S. I Still Love You, and Always and Forever Lara Jean by Jenny Han, Sadie by Courtney Summers, Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, Love and Gelato, Love and Olives, and Love and Luck by Jenna Evans Welch, Burn for Burn by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian, One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus, Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson, The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, Never World Wake by Marisha Pessel, I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, The One by Kiera Cass, Champion by Marie Lu, The Matchmaker's List by Sonia Lawley, Just One Day by Gail Foreman, A List of Cages by Robin Rowe, One Day in December by Josie Silver, Chasing Lucky by Jen Bennett, Slay by Brittany Morris, I See London, I See France by Sarah Mlynowski, Smash It by Francina Simone, Dating You, Hating You, and My Favorite Half Night Stand by Christina Lauren, Let's Talk About Love by Claire Kahn, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, Lore by Alexandra Bracken, American Royals by Catherine McGee, The Bookworm Crush by Lisa Brown Roberts, 10 Things We Did and Probably Shouldn't Have by Sarah Mlynowski, War Cross by Marie Lu, which I have 2 copies of because the one is rainbow under the cover. Also, yes, while filming this I realized they weren't beside each other, so I moved them. By Your Side by Casey West, On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, Queen of Hearts by Colleen Oakes, Just One Year by Gail Foreman, Your Welcome Universe by Whitney Gardner, A Very Large Expansive Sea by Tahara Mafi, Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon, Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston, Beasts Made of Night by Tochi Onyebuchi, The Last Thing You Said by Sarah Byron, Under Rose-Tainted Skies by Louise Gornal, Majesty by Catherine McGee, All Your Twisted Secrets by Diana Urban, The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones, In Abundance of Catherines by John Green, Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, Bone Gap by Laura Ruby, Time of Our Lives by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca, Verona Comics by Jennifer Dugan, Unwind by Neil Schusterman, Witchwood by Tahara Mafi, Frostblood by Ellie Blake, Restore Me by Tahara Mafi, Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys, Set Fire to the Gods by Kristen Simmons and Sarah Roche, We Are Not Free by Tracy Chi, Invictus by Ryan Groudon, The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant, I Have Lost My Way by Gail Foreman, This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, Leviathan by Scott Westerfeld, Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco, The Devil's Thief by Lisa Maxwell, Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angeles, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan, Alice by Heart by Stephen Sater, Master of One by Jada Jones and Danny Bennett, Ensnared by A.G. Howard, Ink Mistress by Audrey Coulthurst, Scythe by Neil Schusterman, Roman and Jewel by Dana L. Davis, Winger and Standoff by Andrew Smith, Enchanté by Gita Trellis, The Lives of Saints by Lee Bardugo, Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli, Put In by Julie Murphy, Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page, Orphan Monster Spy by Matt Colleen, The Blackbird Girls by Anne Blankman, Paper Towns by John Green, Dear Haiti, Love Elaine by Micah Mulit and Maritza Mulit, Blood of Wonderland by Colleen Oakes, Under a Painted Sky by Stacey Lee, The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys, Wolf by Ryan Groudon, Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, The Crown's Fate by Evelyn Skye, Blood for Blood by Ryan Groudon, The Dream Thieves by Maggie Steve Otter, Rune and Rising by Lee Bardugo, The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Adier, The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren, The Candle and the Flame by Nafiza Azad, Fire by Kristen Kishore, 4, 3, 2, 1 by Courtney Stevens, Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins, The Elite by Kiera Cass, Brazen by Kristen Kishore, Enna Burning by Shannon Hale, Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas, With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo, Felix Ever After by Kaysen Calendar, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon, Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, Muse by Brittany Cavallaro, Far From the Tree by Robin Benway, What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, Cure for the Common Universe by Christian McKay Heidegger, The Falling in Love Montage by Sierra Smith, Now That I've Found You by Christina Forrest, Book of 1,000 Days by Shannon Hale, The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins, Stargazing by Jen Wang, Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, The Good Luck Girls by Charlotte Nicole Davis, Say You Still Love Me by K.A. Tucker, Walk on Earth a Stranger by Ray Carson, Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron, Capturing the Devil by Carrie Maniscalco, Everland by Wendy Spinelli, Guilt by Catherine Longshore, Ray Bearer by Jordan Ifuco, King of Scars by Lee Bardugo, The Betrothed by Kiara Cass, A Court of Wings and Rune by Sarah J. Maas, Kind of a Big Deal by Shannon Hale, Daughter of the Siren Queen by Trisha Levenseller, The Wicked King by Holly Black, The Retribution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, Siege and Storm by Lee Bardugo, Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds, When You Were Everything by Ashley Woodfolk, Simmer Down by Sarah Smith, Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, Love at First Like by Hannah Orenstein, What to Say Next by Julie Bobaum, Infinite by Jodie Meadows, Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert, Thunderhead by Neil Schusterman, Forestborn by Shannon Hale, Well Met by Jen DeLuca, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins, Accidentally Engaged by Farrah Heron, Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia, Buried Beneath the Baobab Tree by Adaobi Trisha Nwabani, One of the Good Ones by Micah Mulit and Maritza Mulit, Blue Lily, Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater, Entwined by Heather Dixon, The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker, The Land of Stories, The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer, Sisters of Sword and Song by Rebecca Ross, The Last of August by Brittany Cavallaro, Tales of the Peculiar by Ransom Riggs, Tales from the Hinterland by Melissa Albert, The Toll by Neil Schusterman, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, A Song of Wreaths and Rune by Roseanne A. Brown, Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas, The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Splintered by A.G. Howard, Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson, Gem and Dixie by Sarah Czar, Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire, The Geography of Lost Things by Jessica Brody, The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson, Love is a Revolution by Renee Watson, An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, This Time Will Be Different by Misa Sugera, The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis, The Loose Ends List by Carrie Firestone, The How and the Why by Cynthia Hand, The Looking Glass by Janet McNally, Uprooted by Naomi Novik, They Went Left by Monica Hesse, Well Played by Jen DeLuca, Meet Cute by Helena Hunting, The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow, Take a Hint Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert, The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna, Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas, Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson, First Comes Like by Alicia Ray, Head Over Heels by Hannah Orenstein, A Taste of Sage by Yafa S. Santos, The Accidental Beauty Queen by Terry Wilson, Undercover Bromance by Lisa K. Adams, You'd Be Mine by Aaron Hahn, A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, I'm sorry this cover is impossible to film, The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye, Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, Star Daughter by Shavita Thakrar, Timekeeper by Tara Sim, Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo, Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett, Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo, This Is My America by Kim Johnson, Ignite Me by Tahara Mafi, Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco, The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell, Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson, Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Coulthurst, Sea Witch by Sarah Henning, Layer of Dreams by Libba Bray, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi, The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton, Escaping from Houdini by Carrie Maniscalco, River Secrets by Shannon Hale, Frost Like Night by Sarah Rosh, In an Absent Dream by Shannon McGuire, Long May She Reign by Rhiannon Thomas, The Passion of Dulce by Julie Berry, The Young Elites by Marie Lu, Wonder Woman Warbringer by Lee Bardugo, Starsight by Brandon Sanderson, The Language of Thorns by Lee Bardugo, Night Owls by Jen Bennett, The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson, This Song Will Save Your Life by Leela Sales, To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo, The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro, Summer of Salt by Katrina Leno, The Downstairs Girl by Stacey Lee, The Valiant by Leslie Livingston, Illusionarium by Heather Dixon, I Hope You Get This Message by Farah Naz Rishi, The Last Time We Say Goodbye by Cynthia Hand, The Conspiracy of Us by Megan Maggie Hall, Some Other Now by Sarah Everett, Of Curses and Kisses by Sandhya Menon, The House on the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, Learning to Breathe by Janice Lynn Mather, The Marriage Game by Sarah Desai, Finding Yvonne by Brandy Colbert, Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa, A Very Large Expansive Sea by Tahara Mafi, The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli, The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, The Selection by Kiera Cass, A Taste for Love by Jennifer Yen, Again But Better by Christine Riccio, The Unlikelies by Carrie Firestone, Chaotic Good by Whitney Gardner, How to Hack a Heartbreak by Kristen Rockaway, Fight or Flight by Samantha Young, The Disenchantments by Nina LaCour, Always Never Yours by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca, Beauty Queens by Libba Bray, I Wanna Be Where You Are by Christina Forrest, Black Girl Unlimited by Echo Brown, War Girls by Tochi Onyebuchi, Faker by Sarah Smith, Beach Read by Emily Henry, Her Royal Highness by Rachel Hawkins, The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Adgay, Bitter Blue by Kristen Kishore, Field Notes on Love by Jennifer E. Smith, Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shannon McGuire, Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson, Don't Read the Comments by Eric Smith, Today, Tonight, Tomorrow by Rachel Lynn Solomon, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I have 2 copies here because one of these was actually given to me when I did a meetup in Paris like 3, 4, or 5, I don't know how many years ago. Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hesse, The Geography of You and Me by Jennifer E. Smith, 10 Things I Hate About Pinky by Sandhya Menon, History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera, My Plain Jane and My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows, The Goose Girl by Shannon Hale, Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, House of Salt and Sorrows by Aaron A. Craig, The Case for Jamie by Brittany Cavallaro, Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings, Cress by Marissa Meyer, The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas, The Queens of Innis Lear by Tessa Grattan, Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, A Million Suns by Beth Revis, Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne, The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater, Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson, Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston, Sky Hunter by Marie Lu, American Street by E.B. Zoboy, Starry Eyes by Jen Bennett, Game Changer by Neil Schusterman, Crown of Thunder by Tochi Onyebuchi, Sia Martinez and the Moonlit Beginning of Everything by Raquel Vasquez Gilliland, The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson, A Torch Against the Night by Saba Tahir, The War Outside by Monica Hesse, The Paper Girl of Paris by Jordan Taylor, The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Iturb, translated by Lilith Thwaites, Unravel Me by Tahara Mafi, Circle of Shadows by Evelyn Skye, Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys, Not Like the Movies by Carrie Winfrey, Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller, Unearthed by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, Caraval by Stephanie Garber, Crier's War by Nina Varela, I'm Not Dying With You Tonight by Kimberly Jones and Jilly Seagal, A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, The Queen of Sorrow by Sarah Beth Durst, The Evolution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, Crown of Coral and Pearl by Mara Rutherford, This Is What It Feels Like by Rebecca Barrow, A Million Junes by Emily Henry, Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren, Wild Card by Marie Lu, Real Men Knit by Quanah Jackson, Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer, The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White, The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw, Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas, The Start of Me and You by Emery Lord, These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, Hot British Boyfriend by Christy Boyce, Love, Life, and the List by Casey West, The Pearl Thief by Elizabeth Ween, The Bromance Book Club by Lisa K. Adams, The Night Country by Melissa Albert, An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody, Challenger Deep by Neil Schusterman, Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson, Party of Two by Jasmine Galori, This Is Kind of an Epic Love Story by Kaysen Callender, The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris, Nocturna by Maya Motain, Renegades by Marissa Meyer, The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli, Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett, Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, Wicked Like a Wildfire by Lana Popovich, Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron, Unhinged by A.G. Howard, Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, Finale by Stephanie Garber, Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson, Dare Mighty Things by Heather Kiksinski, Not the Girl You Marry by Andy J. Christopher, You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling, Like Home by Louisa Oname, Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nyung, A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth, The Air by Kiera Cass, Incarnate by Jody Meadows, Daughter of the the Burning City by Amanda Foody, The Babysitter's Coven by Kate Williams, Maybe This Time by Casey West, Once Upon a Sunset by Tiff Marcello, There's Something About Sweetie by Asendia Manon, The Crown by Kiera Cass, A Faux Love Story by Lone Lee, 7 Days of You by Cecilia Vaness, Geekarella by Ashley Poston, Their Fractured Light by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren, Honor Among Thieves by Rachel Kane and Anne Aguirre, Across the Universe by Beth Revis, Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas, Asunder by Jody Meadows, Furthermore by Tahara Mafi, The Bride Test by Helen Huang, The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan, Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers, Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, Fake It Till You Break It by Jen P. Wynn, You Had Me at Ola by Alexis Daria, The Right Swipe by Alicia Ray, The Key to Happily Ever After by Tiff Marcello, The Boyfriend Project by Farrah Roshan, The Meet Cute Project by Rhiannon Richardson, Hello, Goodbye, and Everything in Between by Jennifer E. Smith, Rent a Boyfriend by Gloria Chow, Super Fake Love Song by David Yoon, Don't Ask Me Where I'm From by Jennifer DeLeon, The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta, When You Get the Chance by Tom Ryan and Robin Stevenson, Hope and Other Punchlines by Julie Bobaum, We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Miha, Punching the Air by E.B. Zoboy and Yusuf Salam, Would Like to Meet by Rachel Winters, The Fascinators by Andrew Eliopoulos, A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow by Laura Taylor Namey, Somewhere Between Bitter and Sweet by Laken Z. Kemp, Fat Chance Charlie Vega by Crystal Maldonado, You Have a Match by Emma Lord, Early Departures by Justin A. Reynolds, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang, Crazy Stupid Bromance by Lisa K. Adams, In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens, This Shattered World by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, Paris is Always a Good Idea by Jen McKinley, Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, Wanderlost by Jen Malone, Prince Charming by Rachel Hawkins, Alex and Eliza by Melissa De La Cruz, The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kirsten White, Lovely War by Julie Berry, Shiny Broken Pieces by Sona Chiraipotra and Danielle Clayton, If I'm Being Honest by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca, When You Were Mine by Rebecca Searle, Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour, Calling My Name by Liara Tamani, Serious Moonlight by Jen Bennett, The Other Side of the Sky by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, In the Afterlight by Alexandra Bracken, Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. Okay, so the shelf below this one is double stacked with black books, so I'm going to take like the first layer off and just put the books up here to show you guys. It's just going to be easier that way. Girl Man's Up by M.E. Gerard, Sing Me Forgotten by Jessica S. Olson, A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. Yes, this is gray, it does not match, but I had nowhere else to put it at the moment, so it's just here. The Project by Courtney Summers, Yoke by Mary H.K. Choi, Finale by Stephanie Garber, Dumplin by Julie Murphy, The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco, Fable by Adrian Young, War of the Cards by Colleen Oakes, Legend Born by Tracy Dion, The Black Kids by Christina Hammonds Reed, Wings of Ebony by J.L., Sky Without Stars by Jessica Brody and Joanne Rindell, Like a Love Story by Abdi Nazemian, A Treason of Thorns by Laura E. Weymouth, Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw, Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas, Cast in Firelight by Dana Swift. Okay, so this is usually the shelf that is double stacked, but I actually am using those books as a tripod because we are now at too low a point for my tripod to handle. That being said though, we are on the final 3 shelves of this bookshelf, which is super exciting. The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton, Stay Sweet by Siobhan Vivian, 13 Doorways, Wolves Behind Them All by Laura Ruby, The Infinity Courts by Akemi Dawn Bowman, The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater, Horrid by Katrina Leno, These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackworth, Loveboat Taipei by Abigail Hing Wen, The Reluctant Queen by Sarah Beth Durst, The Diviners by Libba Bray, One Dark Throne and Three Dark Crowns by Kendara Blake, Cinder, Scarlet, Winter, and Stars Above by Marissa Meyer, Looking for Alaska by John Green, My Calamity Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows, Ties That Tether by Jane Iharo, A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy, Rebel Rose by Emma Terrio, A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas, The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton, Ink and Spark by Alice Broadway, The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, Heartless by Marissa Meyer, Fury Born by Claire Legrand, Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren, Before the Devil Breaks You and The King of Crows by Libba Bray, We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal, Part of Your World by Liz Liz Braswell. So This Is Love by Elizabeth Lim. Mere Mere by Jen Calonita. Straight On Till Morning by Liz Braswell. Unbirthday by Liz Braswell. Children of Blood and Bone and Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. Paper Towns by John Green. The Thousandth Floor by Catherine McGee. Romanov by Nadine Brands. Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow. Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. Tiny Pretty Things by Danielle Clayton and Sona Chirapotra. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken. Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. Prodigy by Marie Lu. Crooked Kingdom by Lee Bardugo. Legendary by Stephanie Garber. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Broomies by Christina Lauren. Umberland by Wendy Spinelli. A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. Save the Date by Morgan Matson. Ninth House by Lee Bardugo. Looking for Alaska by John Green. The Field Guide to the North American Teenager by Ben Philippe. Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. The Lady Rogue by Jen Bennett. The Sacred Lies of Minnow Bly by Stephanie Oakes. The Beautiful by Renee Adier. Okay, so we are now at the downstairs shelf, so I apologize in advance for any traffic noises in the background, but I need to do this during the day because of the light, so we live on a busy street, so I can't really stop traffic, unfortunately. But this is just my random bookshelf. It used to have brown and gray and white, but now it's really just brown and random stuff because I moved all my white books upstairs, so it's just kind of a little bit of everything. It's really ugly, but it is not here to be pretty. It is just here for function, purely. A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. Clockwork Prince, Clockwork Princess, and Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. I know these are out of order, but whatever. That's just how they are. Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood. Traitor Angels by Anne Blankman. The Queen of the Tierling by Erica Johansson. Ice Like Fire by Sarah Roche. Pride by E.B. Zoboy. The Queen of Blood by Sarah Beth Durst. Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Seanan McGuire. Spellbook of the Lost and Found by Moira Fowley Doyle. Sherwood by Megan Spooner. The Steep and Thorny Way by Kat Winters. The Looking Glass Wars by Frank Bador. Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee. The Traitor's Game by Jennifer A. Nielsen. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Hollow City, Library of Souls, A Map of Days, and The Conference of Birds by Ransom Riggs. The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. Legend by Marie Lu. The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. To be honest, I have no clue how I ended up with 2 copies of this edition. There's nothing different or special about them, but I just have 2 of them somehow. Prisoner of Night and Fog and Conspiracy of Blood and Smoke by Anne Blankman. A Book of Spirits and Thieves by Morgan Rhodes. Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Want by Cindy Pon. Beetle in the Hollow Bones by Eliza Lane. Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds, illustrated by Danica Novgorodov. So now this is the final shelf that actually has books on it from this shelf. The other 2 bottom shelves are just empty. Iron Cast by Destiny Soria. Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Roche. Hunted by Megan Spooner. Traitor by Amanda McRena. Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Buscherdoust. Graceling by Kristen Kishore. The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. I am just now realizing that some of these books are white and technically should be upstairs, but whatever. They're just gonna stay here because I'm too lazy. A Reaper at the Gates by Saba Tahir. The Enigma Game by Elizabeth Ween. When We Were Magic by Sarah Gailey. In the Shadow of Blackbirds by Kat Winters. Dreamland Burning by Jennifer Latham. I Kissed Alice by Anna Birch. The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. Until It Fades by K.A. Tucker. The Light Between Worlds by Laura E. Weymouth. In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. Okay, so now we are getting to my pretty classics and stuff. So I'm not going to be going over the edition that each of these are in because this video would be so long if I did, and it's already going to be long. So if you would like a separate video where I go over this entire collection, please do let me know, but I'm just going to go through book by book now, just saying the title. The Adventures of Pinocchio by Carlo Collodi. The Beauty and the Beast by Gabrielle Suzanne Barbeau de Villeneuve. The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen. Peter Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling, Mary Poppins by P.L. Travers, Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne, I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith, The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck, Charlotte's Web by E.B. White, To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, Vanity Fair by William Makepeace Thackeray, Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert, Songs of Innocence and of Experience by William Blake, Little Women and Little Wives by L.M. Alcott. I literally only got this because it said Bookland in it. I have no clue anything else about it, but I found it at a used bookstore and it said Bookland, so I was like, cool. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, 1984 and Animal Farm by George Orwell, The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum, Emma by Jane Austen, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Dubliners and A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce, Thumbelina by Hans Christian Andersen, Just So Stories and The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling, Oliver Twist and A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum, Pippi Longstocking by Astrid Lindgren, The Princess and the Goblin by George MacDonald, Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. Yes, I do have multiple copies of a lot of these books. This is kind of my collector's area. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. Also from here, the silver and the green book is missing. The silver one is Alice, so it's up on my Alice shelf, and the green one is still at my parents'. It's Anne of Green Gables. I need to remember to bring it over one of these times. Heidi by Johanna Spyri, The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, A Christmas Carol and Other Stories by Charles Dickens, Black Beauty by Anna Sewell, The Light Princess by George MacDonald, Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine, Heidi by Johanna Spyri, The Snow Queen by Hans Christian Andersen, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, Mary Poppins, Mary Poppins Comes Back, Mary Poppins Opens the Door, and Mary Poppins in the Park by P.L. Travers, Emily of New Moon by L.M. Montgomery, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, I tried so hard and I think I failed, but I tried, Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving, The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. Okay, so this is the last shelf that I'll be giving you like an in-depth look at. I'll quickly go over the bottom two shelves, but this is the last one behind Baby Yoda, of course, that has like actual books on it, or like not actual books, but books that I want to show you, I guess. A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Persuasion by Jane Austen, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, The Other Boleyn Girl by Philippa Gregory, The Alice Network by Kate Quinn, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, The Lady Elizabeth, Innocent Traitor, and Catherine of Aragon, the True Queen by Alison Weir, The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield, Winter Garden by Kristen Hanna, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, Jane Steele by Lindsay Fay, The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett, The Accidental Empress by Alison Pataki, The Jane Austen Society by Natalie Jenner, The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. So this shelf, quickly, I just have some like random keepsake things, nothing super exciting, some nonfiction stuff, and then on the bottom here, let's see if I can show you this. Okay, so all the way down here, I'm not sure how well you can see it, I'm sorry, but I have some photo albums, I have some bookish cookbooks, and then I have my coloring book, so nothing super exciting. Okay, so we have finally made it to the final bookshelf. This is actually probably one of my favorite shelves. I love the editions on here, and I just think they all look very pretty. This Side of Paradise by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I'm not gonna lie, I just noticed the woman's face on there, and it is terrifying and deeply unsettling. The Bell Jar and Other Collected Poems by Sylvia Plath, Hans Christian Andersen's classic fairy tales from Around the World by Andrew Lang, Beauty and the Beast and Other Classic Fairy Tales. I actually have a bunch of fairy tale books, but they are in my desk, so those I will show when I do an office tour, which I am planning on doing soon. Little Women and Other Novels by Louisa May Alcott, The Arabian Nights, translated by Sir Richard F. F. Burton, Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales, War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, Aesop's Illustrated Fables, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, A Treasury of Classic Poetry, The Complete Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Angel, American Gods and Anansi Boys by Neil Gaiman, Dracula by Bram Stoker, The Awakening and Other Stories by Kate Chopin, Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, Heart of Darkness and Other Stories by Joseph Conrad, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, The Odyssey by Homer, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, Persuasion by Jane Austen, The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Other Stories by Robert Louis Stevenson, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, The Swiss Family Robinson by Johann David Weiss, A Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne, Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery, The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood by Howard Pyle, Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery, The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame, Pinocchio by Carlo Collodi, The Little Mermaid and Other Fairy Tales by Hans Christian Andersen, The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, The Call of the Wild by Jack London, Black Beauty by Anna Sewell, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne, A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett, Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame, The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery, Matilda by Roald Dahl, Heidi by Johanna Spyri, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett, Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery, The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte, Mansfield Park, Persuasion, Sense and Sensibility, Northanger Abbey, and Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Okay, and actually finally for the books that I have my little Shakespeare collection here. So this is the Usborne Complete Shakespeare, the complete works of William Shakespeare. I don't know why I started from that side, but I'm just gonna go over here. A Midsummer Night's Dream, Love's Labour's Lost, The Merchant of Venice, Henry VIII, Henry VI, Part 1, and Henry IV, Part 1. I think I got those Roman numerals right. I honestly don't know though, but yeah, these are the histories that I have. And for the tragedies, I have Coriolanus, Romeo and Juliet, Titus Andronicus, and Macbeth. And finally, the comedies are gonna be a little harder to show you because I have more, so I'll just go one by one. So Twelfth Night, The Comedy of Errors, Love's Labour's Lost, As You Like It, A Midsummer Night's Dream, The Merchant of Venice, The Two Gentlemen of Verona, and Much Ado About Nothing. I was collecting these all at one point and then I stopped, but I do want to get the rest of them. But yeah, so that is all for this year's bookshelf tour. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know, like, if you have books, like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever said. Let me know if you have any of the same books that I do, or if I have any that are on your wish list, or just how many books you have. I don't know. Just let me know something. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next year when I do it again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video soon. Bye!